Hello Void, I'm Agitated Crane, and today, well, not today, it's been actually a couple of days back, I watched the second episode of My Hero Academia, and today I would like to talk about it. I finally collected enough thoughts in my head to attempt recording the video. I'm changing the format a little bit. Well, not the format, but the procedure on how I record the videos. So hopefully it's going to be slightly better. In the first episode, I was just having like a bunch of screenshots that I prepared previously, but now I'm actually connecting my manga program and the player to the OBS so I can scroll around and show you what I'm talking about. So hopefully it's going to be less wonky. I also looked into background music for the videos so I sound less strange. Unfortunately, the stuff that I found was not great. Well, I'm going to be honest, I looked into AI generated music because I wanted something unique instead of using the same uh, mind mind killing music that other YouTubers use. But yeah, unfortunately, I was not able to find AI service that would provide me royalty free music for free. And I'm currently trying to save money, so I am still looking. But delaying the episode because of the lack of music, I figured it's not that great, so I will just continue with recording, and then maybe for the third episode or for fourth, I don't know how long it's going to take me. I will maybe find like a background music I can put on the video, so it sounds so it would sound slightly better because I think right now it sounds weird when there is just me, just my voice. Uh, so yeah. Anyway, where we left last, we had Izuku. The word that sprang up in my mind is actually corner. So he cornered All Might uh, on the roof, and he asked if he can become a hero, even though he doesn't have a quirk. And All Might is like visibly in a rush. We kind of get an idea that he is not well, right? Even from previous episode, it was kind of implied that that this form that he is using is limited. Like he can't uh, stay in it for a long time. But this question stops him in his track, and he actually engages in the conversation. But before he does, his limit is up, and he begins to transform. Which I think transformation from I guess it's instantaneous. But anyway, Izuku, he's not paying too much attention to the transformation because he's like in his mind he's not even looking on All Might because he's shy, I guess. So he's like fiddling with his thumbs and looking at the floor. And here we have here is something that I don't really like about Izuku. I would say, because it's um hold on, can I find it really quick? And can I perhaps do like so maybe? Uh, okay. See, we are testing if this is actually working. Okay, so this is from manga, right? And so he says, because I don't have a quirk, maybe that's not the only reason, but I have always been picked on. So he kind of says that he has been bullied throughout his childhood. Um, and he says not only because he's quirkless, maybe there are other reasons, but the reason one of the main reasons is that he's quirkless, and he actually makes it sound that he wants to be a hero so he doesn't get bullied. But it's not even that he doesn't get bullied. He considers heroes cool, and so he wants to be. I mean, he does say that saving people is cool. So he says kind of like, I want to be cool by saving people. But there is this kind of like undertone. I want to be not that I want to save people, but more so that I want to be cool, so I don't get bullied again. And I didn't really like that angle, um, but right. Um, okay, and he says that he idolizes All Might, or like he looks up to him because of the smile as well. And I think I pointed it out in the previous episode that Izuku kind of puts a lot of weight on this, that the guy is saving people and he's smiling, so he's like this hopeful, cheerful person, right? And that's I guess what he wants to be. He doesn't want to be this. I don't want to say that he's depressed, because that's like a strong word, but I would say that Izuku is kind of like feeling down, right? He's um, he's being bullied. He's quirkless, and he wants to be uh, popular. I guess he wants to be cool. He wants to be smiling and saving people. And I like Izuku is good kid. Like we can see it throughout, even throughout this first chapter and first two episodes. It's quite obvious that he wants to save people and to help people. It's kind of like his instinct. But the wording he chose here, that I want to be cool so I don't get bullied, it's kind of meh. But then again, I myself have sometimes difficulties finding the correct words. So I kind of understand that he's maybe like put on the spot, and he's just trying to piece the things together. And it, like the bullying and being quirkless, it's also one of the things that bothers him, and he kind of meshes them all together. So maybe it's like that. So I don't really want to put too much um, negativity on what he is saying. But anyway, that is what his question is. Let us switch to the cover yet. I I'm figuring out how this thing works, and the timing hopefully I will improve over the next couple of episodes. Uh, in the manga, this is different from anime, but in the manga, even in previous episode when All Might is still in the air carrying Izuku to this roof, at that time the villain that in previous episode All Might apprehended, the villain attacks Katsuki, and I at first was a little bit confused because it's um, the scenes are shifted a little bit, right? So it's it wasn't really clear to me what's going on because in the first episode the villain got apprehended, and but in the manga, like ev- like almost immediately Katsuki gets attacked. And I was thinking that maybe Almighty did not collect all of the pieces or something like that, but uh, in this episode we see that actually no, while Izuku was clinging to All Might, the bottle in which the villain was fell to the ground, and that's how the villain escaped. So it just like anime shifted the scenes a little bit. The story is still the same, but it confused me because I was reading the manga at the same time as watching the episodes. So my autism is triggered. That's all that you need to know about it, I guess. Um, but before Katsuki gets attacked, he actually has like a talk with his toadies, with his friends, and uh, they say that we feel like you went kind of too far with telling Izuku to kill himself. Aren't you guys friends, or you were friends in the childhood? And that's actually something that surprised me. But as I said, like rivals in anime, it's often like, oh, they are evil, and then oh, they are misunderstood, oh, they are actually good. So I'm again, I'm guessing it's like the same thing here, that he will eventually be our friend again. But he says and I'm not sure if I should be quoting it. Katsuki says that Izuku is basically an idiot, that he's still has those dreams, that he's like a kid, he's ignoring reality and stuff like that. That he basically needs to grow up, and again, I'm feeling like this is like some sort of tough love. I'm getting reminded of Black Clover, where we had Asta and Yuno, where Yuno decide where they decided that they are going to be rivals. So Yuno was kind of shitty towards Asta and was saying like, "Oh, you have no magic. Oh, you kind of suck," which pushed Asta to be like better. I'm not. I don't think Katsuki is trying to push Izuku to be better. I My speculation is that something happened probably with Katsuki's parents, or maybe like his siblings or whoever maybe like his closest family, which made him realize that you have to be like very strong. And to him, quirks as are strong. So I'm, and again, this is like speculation, but this is kind of what I wanted to do, right? So I'm guessing that either his parents or maybe his siblings were like B to C tier heroes because they, as we can see, we have like a bunch of heroes in the world already, and everyone wants to be a hero and stuff like that. And I'm guessing they were not that strong. Like they were B tier or maybe C tier, maybe even like, who knows? They were not top heroes, basically. But I think they came across like very serious villain, and they died being heroes. And I think that's what Katsuki hates, that if you don't have sufficient powers, you shouldn't be going for this because you are gonna get killed. And I think that this is kind of like where his hate, his dislike for Izuku comes from. That he's basically going, you don't have powers. Stop this. I want to be a hero because you're gonna get killed. And I think the frustration kind of builds, and now he's just bullying him. But it comes from that kind of place. I think. Again, I could be like completely wrong. I'm noticing like mangaka is doing um, interesting choices that I wouldn't have done. Like I would have went with a different uh, story beats, I guess. So, and again, like what I'm suggesting is kind of like tropey, right? So we are going to see what he does. So I don't want to um, push it too much, but it's what came to mind. What I also seen, or I guess what also is worth mentioning, I think, is that in anime they say that let's go to the arcades, and then they say there is lots of prey there, and I was like, what do you mean lots of prey? So so are they saying that they are going to be like bullying people and stuff like that, basically being a delinquentes, maybe? So it kind of sounds like that. In the manga, it's actually different. In the manga, his toadies are smoking, and he's a okay. I'm jumping a little bit. In anime, they say, "Let's go to the arcades. There is some prey there," and Katsugo goes, "Idiots! I don't want anything on my record. Uh, I basically want to be squeaky clean because I'm going to be a hero, right?" In the manga, it's different. In the manga, the toadies are smoking, and he goes, why are you smoking? If I get caught with you smoking, I'm gonna be accused of this as well. It's gonna get on my record." So it's a small difference, right? But I wonder why it was changed. Like maybe in the anime, the smoking was looked like a minor crime, like too minor crime, or maybe they didn't want to portray smoking because that's kind of what the world is changing. Like there is less smoking in uh, TV shows, movies, and stuff like that. And I'm wondering like. In anime, I think it gets censored as well, right? Because like I don't have exact examples, but I know that when anime gets imported to the West, it gets censored on the main uh, through mainstream channels. Like if you are mm, getting the originals, you you can get them, but if you are watching it on TV or something like that, uh, you get like some changes, right? Some censoring, which is funny because anime itself is usually censored from manga. So like manga, you have manga which is original work, then it gets uh, adapted to anime, it gets censored a little bit, then it gets imported to, or I guess export, well, Japan exports and USA imports, or the West imports anime, and then they censor it a little bit as well. So it's kind of like this cycle of uh, adding censorship on the product, on the story. So yeah, but to me, like bullying kids at arcade seems like more serious stuff than just smoking behind the behind the school or something like that. So I I feel like it changes, and again, like small changes to the character, because I feel like Bakugo, or like that's his second name, Katsuki Kachan. I think he's a good guy, right? Even though he says that he's going to be famous superhero and stuff like that, he I am sure there is going to be like this switch that yeah, he is portrayed like this, but he's actually like a good guy. So him wanting to have his record clean kind of makes sense, but then him bullying kids at arcade, I feel like that's too much, because again I feel like he's bullying Izuku for a specific reason, and the bullying is not even like intentional. Like well, it is intentional, but the the intent there is different than just bullying, right? So, anyway, a stupid little change, and I managed to talk about it for like 20 minutes or so, or whatever. So, about the villain escape, we already talked about it, that they kind of switched the scenes a little bit, but when Katsuki talks with his cronies, he kicks like a bottle, and in that bottle is the villain. So he gets free because the bottle gets damaged. He gets free and he attacks Katsugo. Katsugo? Katsuki Bakugo, right? Katsugo. Yeah. Katsuki Bakugo. So, again, in the manga, it wasn't really clear to me what was happening. uh, Like that he kicked the bottle, and I'm not sure if it was intended to be that he kicked the bottle, or that the bottle just fell and the villain is free. I'm not sure, because in anime it's very clear that Katsuki is kicking the bottle with the villain, and that's how he gets freed. While in manga he just kicks something, it's not really clear what it is, and then he gets attacked by the villain. So the villain could have been freed before that. Again, small change on the grand scale of things. It probably that doesn't matter. So yeah, we then go back to to the roof where we have All Might now shriveled, shriveled to this skinny form. And Izuku is obviously like surprised, like what's going on. And All Might explains that it's that his muscle form is basically like him flexing, and he compares it to when you are at the beach and you like pull your gut in so you can look a little bit skinnier. So it's kind of like that, which which was funny because it's something that I do all the time subconsciously. Like I'm trying to hide my gut, but yeah. So he says it's like that, and then he explains it a little bit further. He shows that he has that he's got an injury that a while back, 5 years ago actually, he got attacked by a supervillain, and he got a bunch of stuff uh, in his body damaged. So, like his respiratory system was nearly destroyed, stomach got absolutely removed, and he started to waste away because of all the surgeries, after effects, and stuff like that. And obviously, I guess if he doesn't have a stomach, then he's not eating as much, and uh, it's a gnarly damage, but it makes me think, right, what his quirk actually is, because he says he started to waste away because of the surgeries, because of this damage. So does this what was his real what was his real body then? Because was he before in this Superman form, and then he started to get skinny and got to this form, and now but he can still flex to get to that other form, but that's not how the muscles work, right? So it's kind of strange. And then maybe he was like a regular human, and if he flexed, he become All Might, and he could have flexed for a long time before, but now because he's got this damage, he can only do it for a short period of time, basically not as long as previously. So maybe that's the implication. And I'm gonna jump a little bit further because well, say significantly further to the entire end of the episode, but in the teaser for the next episode, there is actually implication that he's going to pass his powers to Izuku. So what 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 does that mean? And and actually, right, because quirks so far, what we have heard, they are like an evolution, or what Izuku was talking about when he was um, remembering his visit to the doctor, and well, basically in all his flashbacks. So it sounds like it's like a mutation, right? But when he is on the roof and he asks about I don't have quirks, All Might be he stops and he says quirks are, and he doesn't finish. He then gets transformed, and we get this conversation about his condition instead. But I wonder if he was about to say that quirks are artificial or something like that, because it's Like I'm pretty sure Izuku is gonna get some superpowers, right? And how will he get them if not through regular mutation? So is it like fake powers basically? Like yeah, people get them, but they are actually artificial things that can be removed. That's interesting. But anyway, they were talking about the injury and how um, All Might didn't want people to know about this because Izuku right away he says, "Oh, you 5 years ago you fought this supervillain," and All Might goes, "No, that's not him. Like that guy was a scrub. I think it was like toxic chainsaw or something like that." And he says, "No, that supervillain that's small potatoes. There was another guy, and that fight was kept secret because." Symbol of peace cannot be daunted by evil. And I had to Google what the fuck daunted means. And it's you guys probably know what it means. It doesn't matter. But the sentence is kind of. I don't want to say. Well, yeah, it is strange in the sense that it can be interpreted in different ways. Because I think the interpretation that the author is going for is that he didn't want people to know that a villain could have affected him. I'm actually going to find Daunted again, so I don't I didn't get it wrong. Daunt make someone feel intimidated or apprehensive, and uh, I'm actually losing my train of thought here. So, um, or I guess I'm struggling with what I'm trying to say. It feels like he's trying to say that the villain affected him somehow, and he didn't want that to be seen. But it also sounded like this is going to be very stupid explanation. Like the implication is that the villain affected the hero, right? But then my other interpretation, which is, and again, like small differences in wording, right? That the hero got affected by the villain, and I hope it makes sense to at least someone. Like it's a small difference, but it can snowball into like a serious like difference in meaning. So yeah, I hope it makes sense. I I'm pretty sure it doesn't, but try try to understand what I mean. And then he references that Izuku said that he saw him smiling and that he wanted to be cool and save people with a smile as well. And All Might says that my smile is basically fake. It's to trick the fear that I feel, and the pressure of being a hero. It's that he is yeah. So basically, that he's smiling to convince himself that everything is fine, and in that, I guess he's convincing everyone else as well. But he then actually replies to Izuku as to his question: can you be a hero without powers? And he says, "No, I don't think you can." He says that pros risk their lives, and it's not bad to dream, but you should understand reality, right? And then he recommends you should maybe become like a police officer. That's also like admirable work. And he then also mentions villain custody officers, which he mentions separately from the police. So it sounds like there is like a special unit for uh, villain custody. I guess it's like villain prison, like so prison guards in some high security villain prison, maybe. But yeah, and with that he leaves because he has to deliver the villain that he thinks he's still in his pocket, uh, in the bottle, to the police. And again, I want to talk about this. It's something that do I have some nice shot here? Yeah, I guess that. Let's go with that. And what I don't like about this, right? Because it's I mentioned this in the first episode, and it's like it's so fucking obvious, right? It's you can't be hero without powers. It's what our world kind of revolves around, and what even their world, because they are like Izuku is fifth generation uh, mutant or whatever, but before that, people did not have had superpowers, and surely heroes were, or I guess that there wasn't like an occupation to be superhero or hero, but people were still doing heroic acts, and it's I get what mangaka is trying to do, and it's actually like I can see that he's agreeing with me, but the problem I have is that he's in order to have this message, he's putting his entire world, his entire world believes a weird concept, so he can have this message. But that's that's there are more elegant ways to do this. Like you could have a villain hold this belief, or you can have a bully hold this belief. But it kind of sucks that he's making entire world kind of believe that. Like not only like these fringe cases, but his mom, she didn't tell him that he can be a hero. uh, All Might, he's saying you probably can't be a hero without superpowers. Bakugo is saying it, and it's later we will see that other heroes say it as well. So it's kind of like the world believes that there is generally accepted absolute belief, and it doesn't it kind of feels bad, right? I think it would have been more elegant if uh, Katsuki, for example, believed that. Maybe even like his mom, if you want to push it that way. But it seems that the entire world is pushing it this way, which I don't like. And then in the background we see an explosion, and it's getting noticed by All Might, so All Might goes there, and it's being noticed by Izuku as well. But and he initially he starts moving to go there, but then he stops because he remembers what All Might told him. And this surprised me as well, because I was again under impression that Izuku was fanboying over superheroes, not necessarily just because he wanted to be like them, but because he was idolizing what they were doing. But now it sounds like he had those journals as well, and those journals, I think I misunderstood them as well, because I was under impression that he's like cataloging what other heroes are doing, uh, like he's basically like a fanboy, right? Not necessarily. um how should I put it? It seems like he was doing it as a research on how to be a hero, less so about less so about uh, just cataloging stuff because he's a fanboy. So I'm cringing currently. Like I I'm trying to explain what I mean, and I'm not sure it's coming across. So anyway, he first wanted to run down there, but then he didn't. And then we switch to the scene that is happening on oh that is happening where the blowing of the stuff is, and there we see that the villain is trying to get into Katsuki the same way as he wanted to get into Izuku, and Katsuki is resisting, so he's blowing shit up everywhere. But the villain is resistant to it, and so Katsuki is just wreaking havoc on the city without doing anything to the villain. There are some heroes on the scene as well, and you can. I'm actually going to. Oh my god! But there is like this, and it's almost like comical. Like you can kind of see it here. Meaning comical, not in the sense that it's laughable, but comical in the sense that I have seen this in like comic strips, not in the full-fledged comic strips, but in like comic journals, but not in, oh my god. Ooh. I have seen this before, not in full-fledged comic books, but in something like a comic strips in the newspapers where the space is limited, so the stuff is shown very quickly. It's like this character is not important, so we are gonna give them just like a small line showing what they are doing. Uh, it would have been better to have an example. I don't have it currently, but basically like a compilation of side characters or something like that. And so here we see that Mount Lady is saying, "Oh, I cannot get to the scene because the street is too narrow, so I cannot fit there." Then we get Wooden Kamui saying, "Oh, fire is my weakness. I cannot do anything there." Then we get this fire hydrant lad who says, "Oh, the I'm good against fire, but I'm actually fighting fires here, so I cannot go fight the villain." Then you get the bulldozer man, which I think his name is Dead Hands, Dead Arms. I'm gonna keep calling him the bulldozer man. So so he says, uh, well, actually, in the anime, he goes to punch the guy. He goes to punch the guy, but it doesn't work because the guy is basically like a goo, right? So he doesn't do anything. He gets stuck, but then he gets free and moves away. And again, something that I don't like, it's that those so you have like what, one, two, three, four, and then I think there are four heroes with like Tolkien clients: Mount Lady, Wooden Kamui, Bulldozer Man, and Firefighter Man. Those are four, right? And then I think you see like two guys on the background with silly costumes, and I'm not sure uh, if they are going to be playing bigger role later or not. But yeah, so you have six heroes there at the very least. There is probably even more, and all of them go, okay, we are going to wait. We are doing damage control. We are not going to engage the villain. We are gonna wait for someone with a quirk that is better suited fighting this villain. And I'm like, wait, what? That's that's kind of shitty, wouldn't you say? Like Superman fights Metallo, even though Metallo has kryptonite kryptonite heart. Spider-Man fights Sandman, even though he's not a good fit to fight Sandman, obviously. Uh, Flash fights the Turtle. I don't know. Like it feels like that's not what heroes do. Like if what are you not going to fight against supervillain if supervillain is stronger than you, or if it's not a good matchup? Like, what are you only going to fight weaker enemies? Are you superhero at that point, or are you just a bully that wants to punch weak robbers or whatever? That felt kind of like icky to me, and that's what I was saying. Like, I'm pretty sure mangaka shares my opinion, like because we get I'm, I'm jumping around. Let's go back on track because because I need more building pieces for what I'm trying to say. So they say they are going to wait for someone with suitable quirk, and at this point, Izuku arrives at the scene and he sees like a crowd of people, and the crowd of people is gossiping, and they are saying, "Why are heroes standing back?" And they are saying like, "Oh, they are waiting for someone with suitable quirk." Um, and we see All Might in the background and Izuku in the background. All Might is in his skinny form, so he can't do anything, or you can actually see that he has difficulties breathing and stuff like that. Uh, and he's quite upset with himself as well. He's as pathetic. And people are gossiping like, this is the villain that fought All Might a while back. Why is he here? Where is All Might? What is he doing? Um, and then we get, and I really love this, and I think it's probably better visible in the manga, so I'm gonna be showing it in the manga. Just give me a second. I'm double checking if maybe anime has a decent shot of it as well, but I don't remember anime having that. Well, it does have it. It just that doesn't look as good, I think. So I'm gonna switch to manga. Oh no, I I was on that. Well, actually, we can compare it, right? So this is anime, and then this is manga, and I I guess it looks similar enough. But I like the manga art more. I feel like it portrays the fear better. Yeah, yeah. I feel it's better than in the anime. So we get a shot of this, which leads to this. Izuku starts running. He sees Deku has like a fear in his eyes. He keeps fighting, but it almost feels like I want to say that it's kind of like for a split second that he sees the eyes of Katsuki, and so he starts running towards the villain, and he he has like some internal monologue, obviously, right? So he says, "What the fuck am I doing? It's what am I going to do? Like, what? I don't have any powers. Why am I running towards the villain and stuff like that?" And then he throws like his backpack at the villain. He actually remembers like his research that he was doing in the first episode, where he was writing about wooden kamui, and it's something like his attack is for the distraction or stuff like that. Uh, there is a slight difference between manga and anime here in what the note on wooden kamui says. But I think it's like a difference in the translation, like the different translation styles between anime and manga. So I don't want to go too deeply into that. So but basically I think what it was supposed to say is that Wooden Kamui uses this type of attack for distraction, and he remembers that, and he throws the bag to distract the villain first, and then he closes in, and he tries to rescue um, Izuku, not Izuku, Katsuki, and Katsuki is like saying, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And then we get this Izuku smiling, and he says, "You looked like well." In the anime, that translation that I have, he says you looked like you were asking for help. In manga, it actually says you looked like you needed saving. And I again, like this scene is bit for bit the same in manga. It looks very similar, the manga drawing as well. I had a difficulty placing it, specifically just that panel. So here you have like a picture of the whole page, but yeah, very similar. And I think it's almost the same, like with the picture, with the uh, Katsuki scared eyes. I think manga one looks better. Here I think they did good job portraying, adapting this manga panel. So I think it's fine using this one. So I absolutely love it. You can see that in his eyes, like he's absolutely scared as well, but he's smiling because he basically did what All Might was saying. I smile because I'm trying to convince myself I don't have fear, that I'm this symbol of hope and stuff like that. And now he's doing the exactly same thing. And there is actually more, like before he even started running, like people were saying, oh, when is a hero going to show up, when is the hero going to show up? And then he starts running, and it was really hype moment. That this was, I think, the first hype moment in this anime, and I absolutely loved it, especially with the smiling and stuff like that. And seeing this, uh, seeing this triggers All Might. Oh my god, I'm gonna sneeze. Seeing this act of heroism, I'm actually, well, I think I moved it already. Yeah, I moved it. Well, regardless. Seeing this act of heroism triggers All Might, and he transforms, and he shows up to the scene, and he says uh, that he basically he like the stuff that he told him on the roof, that he wasn't living up what he was preaching. Basically, he was saying like pros are always risking their lives, kind of explaining that he was holding back because he was in bad shape, right? But that doesn't matter. He's a hero. He has to risk his life. So he does, and he deals with the villain. This time using Detroit Smash, and it's so funny that his attacks are named after American cities. I wonder if there is going to be California Slap, San Francisco Flicker. I don't know. uh, but so far, all of them were smashes, right? Yeah, so far all of them were smashes. And then we get like some extra scenes. Extra scenes. It's literally like a couple of seconds, but we see other heroes protecting civilians from blowback or aftershock shockwave. So that's kind of cool. I can actually, I think, if we go a little bit further back and see. Well, I can't make it look not fuzzy, but here we have, but for example, Mount Lady protecting like a bunch of civilians. So yeah, All Might deals with the villain. Everyone is happy. It starts raining because his punch was so mighty that it actually fucked up some clouds, and the the rain began to fall. But then aftermath, basically, right? Smaller heroes started to collect uh, supervillains' remains, and to because he basically got scattered. I don't think he's dead. I think he's kind of like Sandman and that type of villain where he can be separated, but then he reforms eventually. So they basically collected him and passed him to the authorities, and then superheroes they got really mad with Izuku because he rushed there to save Katsuki. Oh, 1 second. Can I have it here somewhere? Wow, stuff like that, right? So they were like, why were you running there, you idiot, and stuff like that. In contrast, Katsugo gets praised by superheroes, saying, "Oh, your quirk is awesome, and you showed like a real, you were really tough by like resisting the supervillain for this long, and stuff like that." And again, as I said, it's strange that this is the reaction that superheroes have, because y- you don't need superpowers to be a hero. And in fact, it's like, for example, think about soldiers, right? You know that there is a risk for soldiers to die, but you still let them do their thing, right? Here they are saying, "Oh, you have no superpowers, so you shouldn't have went trying to save your friend." That's that's like really stupid. Like it's I'm having this this disconnect from what this world stance is on in heroism, because on one hand it kind of makes sense that yeah, you don't have powers, so it's dangerous for you to do something like that. But just because it's dangerous, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing something. And this is just so ingrained in this world, in their world as well, because like obviously before the superheroes showed up, they had no superpowers. This is ingrained in all the stories, all the books, movies. It's it's obvious, right? It's even fucking Harry Potter. That Dumbledore says we will have to choose between what is right and what is easy, and it's like, and as I said before, are you only going to fight supervillains if they are weaker than you? Really? Are you only going to fight them if you have the advantage? If you are water Pokemon against fire Pokemon? No. If something is right, you you do it, regardless of if you are weaker, regardless of if it's dangerous. And I want to say that it's more complicated like that, right? It's but that's also what's heroic. Like you don't give up, I guess. And it again, it seems seriously strange to me that this is a belief that is held in this world, because like how can you forget it? Like I understand that the perception of heroism could change if 80% of population has superpowers, but 1 second. But it's so alien to me. Like I really don't understand it. I really don't. So that's uh that's the conclusion of that fight. Izuku goes home and he is being chased by Katsugo. He catches up, and Katsugo basically just starts yelling at him, saying, I never asked you to help me. I had it. I am awesome. I what were you trying to do? You were trying to make me look bad. What were you trying to try to get me to like you? What the fuck? Fuck off. I'm not friends with you. And he leaves. And it's and Izuku even says like, "What a tough guy!" Like it's obvious that it's not what he means, but it's kind of like the image that he has to uphold, and it's kind of funny that, well, that well, not funny, maybe like sweet even, that that's how he is trying to say thank you basically. And Izuku at this point is like, yeah, I don't have superpowers. I couldn't really do anything there. So I will try to be more realistic from now on. And then All Might shows up, and All Might says, I've come to thank you and revise what I said earlier. I also have a proposal. And he starts explaining that uh, he said this thing uh, on the roof, and then back with the crowd when they were talking about the villain, why is no one attacking, and he saw that the only one brave enough to basically do anything was this kid without powers. That it made him realize that he had to act. He had to uh, do what he was preaching. What what is the saying? Do as you preach. And that he had to risk his life, even though he's like in bad condition, but he had to uh, do something about it, right? Because it's otherwise he would be just this buff guy who fights when fighting is easy, right? And and so he says there are stories about him. What was that Izuku basically inspired him to action. And then he says that most of the top heroes show signs of greatness even as children. Many of them claim that their bodies simply moved before they could think. And at this point, Izuku is having like uh, not a panic attack, but he's basically like having this. What what would you even call this? You know, well, I guess no one is no one is listening to those videos, so maybe I can get away with this. I um I was dealing with depressions a while back. Maybe I still I guess I still have them, but I went to see like help, and I was explaining like once I had uh, this reaction where I came home and I was feeling so bad that I could barely breathe. Like I was gasping for air. Like I was so frustrated, I guess, so distraught. I don't know, but it's what uh, my psychologist, the guy who was helping me, he said, so you basically had like a very strong physical reaction to your emotional state. So basically something like that. And I feel like this is what Izuku is having. Like he's so overpowered with emotions, which I'm not even sure like what type of emotion it is. It's like validation, maybe. Like, but is validation even emotion? Isn't it like a state? Well, I don't know. Um, English hard. But yeah, he has like a physical reaction to yeah to validation basically, because he finally hears something that he wanted to hear from other people and from his mom as well. He hears that. that he can be a hero, even though he doesn't have superpowers. And this was I would say this was very powerful as well. Very very nice shot in the anime as well. I think actually that this is one shot in anime that I prefer over the one in manga. I'm gonna actually compare it very quickly. Like in the manga, it's like this, and it's I don't know. It's not as beautiful as it is in anime. And yeah, that's where the first episode and well, not the first, second episode ends, but it's actually the first chapter of the manga. And as I was saying in the first episode, that I so far I'm not as impressed. It's it's better now significantly, so it's kind of obvious that those two episodes, they probably should have been shown as one episode. I don't know, maybe it was aired like this, but I watched them separately. So first episode was kind of, I don't want to say weak. Like I knew that it's gonna get better, and I knew that this is like a setup, and we will see it. But uh, the this scene here, and then when Deku was saving Deku, Izuku was saving Katsuki. That was um, that was cool as well. So yeah, high hopes for the anime. I did watch the teaser for the next episode. Seems like we will be getting some training from All Might, and it he makes it sound, All Might narrates it. He makes it sound like he's gonna pass his superpowers to Izuku, which again, what are the implications here? Going to be interesting. I I'm looking at the time, and it seems that I spent as much time on this episode as I did on the first one, which is um, not great. I was hoping that I'm gonna be making those episodes faster, but it seems like that's basically my pace, I guess. If it's a half an hour episode, then I'm talking about it for an hour and a half. I'm not sure if I managed to improve it. So far, it's take a long time to prepare this episode, and it's not. I don't think it's justifiable. Like I'm not writing like a long script or anything like that. It's just me watching the episode and then talking about it. But before I collect myself to talk about it, I spent like 1 or 2 days, and I don't like this. I want the episodes to be recorded quicker, because I've spent like 2 weeks watching those first two episodes, which is not great, right? If I ever get to this is like my uh, Moby Dick that is in the far future, but I want to eventually try to do something similar with Dragon Ball, because I actually have not seen it at all. So I want to do it with the data as well eventually, but that's like million episodes or something like that. Same with One Piece. One Piece, I think I mentioned in the previous episode that I tried watching it and I did not enjoy it. But I know that it gets better eventually, and I know that it's like one of the longest running animes at this point, and people absolutely love it. So I think I just have to get over that uh, initial start that I did not like, and we will be fine. But both Dragon Ball and One Piece, they have like insane amount of episodes, and if it takes me 1 week to collect myself to record one episode, then it's gonna take me like a lifetime to cover something like Dragon Ball. So yeah, and now that I started, I'm having difficulties to stop. uh, I will try to uh, get those episodes done more quicker, I guess. Not more, just quicker. Um, I have high hopes for My Hero Academia. I mentioned this in the beginning, and now as I'm seeing more of it, it may sound like I'm complaining about stuff, but it's not that I enjoy the show. It's just that I wanted to talk about it, right? So that's what I'm doing. It doesn't it's not supposed to be like negative, or I wouldn't even say that it's supposed to be like positive, trying to promote the show or anything like that. It's just that this is what I'm watching currently, and I want to talk about it, even though I don't have anyone to talk about it with aside from the general void of the internet. So yeah, there we go. I hope I didn't forget anything. I covered my notes that I had. I think maybe I had like a tough time explaining what I mean about heroism, and some examples that I gave probably were very shitty, but deal with it. I'm pretty sure this is the premise of the entire show, that we are going to be hearing this from more and more people. Uh, what it means to be heroic, if uh, if you can be heroic without superpowers, if you have if you can be brave, if you if you are supposed to be fighting only enemies that are like statistically weaker than you. I think we will hear more of it. As I said, it sounds like the entire world is set up this way, instead of one antagonistic character who holds this view. So I think we will have more opportunities to talk about this, and maybe I will be better, um, not prepared, but better suited for it next time. And I will look into background music, I think. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I don't know when the next one will be recorded, but I will try to do it as quickly as possible. Uh, Subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my OnlyFans, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.